Hi there and welcome back. So how are you feeling today? How's everything going? Let me know in the comments. So, continuing on from the previous video that we were talking about spirit guides and we're talking about angels or beings on the other side after my beautiful experience with my uncle. As I was reaching the end of that video, I just had this light bulb moment of one of the most important things that you need to know about the beings on the other side. Now, before I touch on that, firstly, if you have a belief that they don't exist, then this video is not for you. Because if you don't believe that these beautiful beings exist, that belief is already blocking them from coming through. So, this is for the people who out there who have a feeling they might be already communicating with these beautiful beings, or have a belief in place that they might exist. There needs to be the possibility that they exist within yourself. If you're a definite no, they don't exist, then this isn't for you in this reality. In this lifetime, you weren't meant to have this experience. You're meant to have a different experience, and that is perfect. Remember, everyone's on a different path. Everyone's having a different experience. So, talking to angels or talking to spirit guides, communicating with these beautiful beings on the other side is not for everyone in this lifetime. Now that we've got that out of the way, there needs to be within you at least the possibility that they might exist. They might. Just have that door a little ajar, just a little bit open. Doesn't have to be fully open, because before I started talking to, I grew up, in the Catholic Church, and they never talked about angels in church when I was there. They talked about the devil a lot. They talked about Jesus. They talked about Mother Mary and, the Bible, all of that. But they never spoke of angels. So I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know anything about angels, It was through some guided meditations that I began to see them. But at the time, I didn't know what I was seeing. It wasn't until much later through the Reiki that I realized, oh, hang on a minute. These guys are real, They're showing up and they're talking to me and giving me all this information. They're actually real. And then I found out, which was like what blew my mind the most, that when I was little, I was already talking to them. So at the age of 5, I already had beings that I was talking to. But my parents stopped me from doing that because I guess they were worried. It's not normal for children to be talking to, angels or beings on the other side. So I've spent most of my life, that part of me got shut down. I didn't know. I found out much, much later, once I started talking to them again now, in the last couple of years, they've shown me, that I was already talking to them at the age of 5 and 4 and 3. Like, they were there from the very beginning. But my parents freaked out, and they were worried I'd end up in a mental institution or, they just told me to stop doing that, and eventually I did stop talking to them. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What we were meant to talk about in this video, if you have just a tiny, opening that they might be possible, that they might exist, or if you've got the door wide open, yes, they exist, I want them to come in. Either way, it's all good. Now, the thing I found out in the last book, it might be the previous one, I'm not sure if it was in I Am Light, I Am Dark, or the You Can Change that one, You Can Change Your Past, is that with these beautiful beings, all you have to do is say their name. Once they've introduced themselves to you, like when I first met my guardian angel, I didn't know his name. So he had to tell me his name. And then I was like, oh, okay. But the truth, the reality with the beings on the other side is that all you have to do is say their name. Once you know who they are and you know they are there, Whenever you need assistance, all you have to do is say their name. So say, for example, I need assistance, and in that moment, I feel that I need Jesus because he's been coming through a lot. All I have to do is say his name and he's there. I can already see him standing in front of me, waiting, like, okay, now what? And most of the time, to be honest, even though I've got all these questions and all these, I'm not sure what to do here or what to do there or whatever it is that I want guidance with, once I say the name of the being that I'm thinking of, that I feel the strongest connection to in that moment, because I usually allow, my soul to go, okay, who are we going to call in? Who do we need? And the name will pop into my head. And as soon as I see that name and I say that name, even if it's just in my head, that being will be there. And then what I do is I just stay with them in that moment, in that space. I allow. I don't ask anything, because remember, these beings are with you all the time. They already know what you're thinking. They already know what you're feeling. They know everything that's going on. And so in that moment, once I have Jesus standing there, or whoever it is I've called in, but in this moment he's already here because I've already called him. And thank you for being here, Jesus. So in this moment that he's already here, what I do is I just allow. I allow information to come in. That's it. You say their name and then you just be with them. Just be. Allow them to give you the information. Now, usually for me, I'll get words. I'll get a message, a verbal message, but I get very strong visions as to what the message is. That's me. For you, it may be a feeling, or it may be, you got to tune into, everyone's different. But the end goal every time is the frequency that's coming through, the vibration that they're bringing through when they come in. And for me, usually there's a release of tears because I just feel the love coming through and I know it's going to be okay. Whatever it was that I was asking about before they appeared. Just say their name. And everyone's different. You may want to sit there with this being that you've called in and you may want to ask them 1,000 questions. Then do that if that feels good to you, if that feels right, if that feels like the way to do it. For me, there's already a knowing that they already have all the information of why I've said their name, why I've called them in, why they're standing here in front of me. I already have a feeling, I already have a knowing. They already have all that information. And so as soon as I prompt them to come in, I've said their name, I just allow. I just sit with them. Usually I'll close my eyes so I can see them more clearly. Because with my eyes open, there's all the distraction of all the things that are already around me. I don't get a clear picture of them. But when I close my eyes and I get that beautiful visual of them, and then instantly, as our eyes meet and I can see the love in their eyes and I'm already calm in that moment, my whole system calms down straight away. And then I just allow whatever information to come through, whatever visions they give me come through. And all I had to do was say their name. That was it. It was that simple. There are many, many beings on the other side. For some people, like for my mum, her being is Mother Mary or the Virgin Mary, Jesus's mum. She's had a very strong connection to her from quite little, because when her parents passed away when she was 5, she was in so much grief that one day Mother Mary appeared to her to comfort her. So, I grew up with that beautiful story. And so there was always within me a belief that there are beings on the other side. I just didn't know that we could just communicate with them all the time. I understood that she showed up for my mum because of the state of grief that my mum was in. You know, having lost both of your parents at the age of 5 is devastating. So I understand that Mother Mary showed up for her, and she was 5. You know, how could she not appear for a child that's suffering, that's in so much pain? Of course she would. And I'm sure at the time my mum must have been asking her to come to be with her. She must have been praying a lot for this beautiful being to appear and tell her, make her feel that it's going to be okay. But what I didn't know is that we can call upon them at any time for anything. They're happy to assist no matter what it is. You're sitting for an exam at school. Ask for assistance. Allow them to be with you, to guide you. It doesn't have to be for what we think are important things. Life is so different when you feel that every decision that you make or don't make or whatever, that you have this whole team with you, supporting you all the way. So, no request is trivial to them. The fact that you're open to receiving their guidance, to receiving information from them, is enough for them. That you call them in is enough for them. They're more than happy to assist no matter what it is. They don't judge, oh my God, you're wasting my time. Why'd you call me in for this? You could have done this yourself. They don't think that way. They're just love. And if in any moment you feel that you want help with something or you just want them to be with you, it is that simple. You don't even need anything. You just want to feel their presence. You want them to be with you in this moment. That is enough. They're never going to judge that it's too much because you call them in every 5 minutes. They're never going to judge that it's silly, it's trivial. You know, you didn't need to call me in for this. They're not human. They don't have human attributes. Like, they don't think like humans like that. You know? So, you are always worthy of their presence. All you ever have to do is ask. Ask them to be with you. Say their name. Today, this is the new information that's come through. Once you've had the initial introduction and you know who your team is, you will feel. There's different times for me. There's times where I call in Archangel Michael. I just need him. And I call him in, no matter what that's for. I just feel, you know what? I need you right now. Just come. Just be with me. Sometimes just hold me. That's all I want. Just hold me for a minute. Just wrap your wings around me and just hold me. Sometimes it's Raphael. He's so huge when he comes in. It's like this huge tree. You know those big trees with the big trunks? That's what he always reminds me of. He's so big. He's massive, but he's so gorgeous when he comes in. There's this gentleness about him, this lightness. And I can feel his love. Most times it's Jesus that I call in, because he was the being I had a very strong connection to when I was little. He was my imaginary friend. You know, I grew up with stories from my mum that I had an imaginary friend before my sister was born. And that was at the age of 5. So, you know, for me, he's my go-to usually when I need assistance or it depends. Sometimes it's Mother Mary when I feel like I need motherly love. You know, you need that nurturing love. You need that comforting. Each of them provides different a different space to be in, you know? With Jesus, I'm always reminded of the unconditional love that we are, always. And quite recently, you know, I was given this vision that I was on the cross. It's like he had placed me in his place that day when he was on the cross. And I could see my hands nailed into the cross, and I could see my feet nailed into the cross. And I could see the blood, you know, from the thorns, from all of it. I could see, but I couldn't feel it, because what he was showing me was the intense love that he was feeling at the time. And that when you step into that love, that space of love, that high frequency, the highest of frequencies, you just don't feel anything. It's like you become this light and there's nothing else. It was just such a wonderful experience. Almost like he was trying to tell me that the pain, it wasn't real, it didn't exist. In the human form, you could feel it. But as soon as you step into your energetic soul, you know, the love that you are, it all disappears. It was just amazing. Love was all I could feel. The love and the light. There was like light pouring out of everywhere. That's all I could see, all I could feel after I was shown that moment of being on the cross. The unconditional love that we are surpasses everything else. Is all that there is. It's what we return to when we are done here. When we no longer need this form, our energy changes from this form back to our beautiful love that we are. It's just wonderful. So this video is about having the knowledge that when you do meet your beautiful spirit team, whenever you need them, for whatever, it doesn't matter. They are here to assist you on your human journey. All you have to do is say their name. And I think that's why originally they would say, do not say God's name in vain. You know, for no reason. Because every time you do call for God, he is there. You're going to call him and leave him hanging. Because you just did it, you know, mindlessly, without any intention of asking for anything. So, you know, call upon them and they will be there. Just say the name. That's all that's required. Say the name of the being you wish to have with you. Call upon them. And I guess the other message that's come through is that no request is unanswered. To them, every request is meaningful. There's a reason you've called upon them. Every request is sacred to them. They will always appear when you call, always. Without judgment. Remember, their love is unconditional, without conditions. That is what it is to be the love you are. All right, my darlings, I love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.